What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and we finish up all of our Madden team simulations for the upcoming 2023-24 season. I'm going to show you what the standings look like based off of those simulations. So if you watch the team simulations where we go through the entire teams here on this channel, we've done every team, but we still have a few games left. We're trying to get through the last week, showing all the full games. If you like watching the full games, you can watch those over on the SG1 Sports 2 channel. So we're going to go through and show you the final games there for the people that are watching the full games. And then we're going to start the playoffs on Sunday. That's the plan. I'm going to actually simulate the playoffs with the new Madden game. I'm supposed to get it on Friday. I didn't want to pre-order it and waste money. I didn't see any point in that. So I'm getting it on Friday when it releases. And I like buying the physical copies of games, so I'm getting it in the mail. Ordered it on Amazon, and hopefully it will come on Friday. I had a package last Friday that didn't come until Saturday, but hopefully we'll get everything recorded on Saturday, get the playoffs started. I'll do 3 or 4 games on Sunday, and we'll go through it and do the entire playoffs. But I'll show you that bracket in just a second. Let's first look at the standings. In the AFC East, we got the Jets winning this division. The Bills had a good year as well. Dolphins at 10-7, and the Patriots really struggled at 3-14. And then in the AFC West, the Chiefs, no surprise, won this division. Chargers right behind them at 11-6. Raiders at 8-9, and the Broncos finished 6-11. In the AFC North, we have the Steelers. Okay, this was a surprise. The Steelers winning this division at 13-4. Bengals 12-5, Browns 11-6, Ravens 7-10. And then we go to the South. The Titans win the tiebreaker over the Colts and Jaguars. That was a close race there in that division. And then the Texans they were only one game behind them at 7-10. So this is a really tight division. I think that could be how it plays out in real life as well. Let's go to the NFC now. We'll start in the East. The Eagles won this division. Had the Giants behind them at 11-6, Cowboys 8-9, and the Commanders at 5-12. You'll notice when we show you the playoffs, the records in the AFC were a lot better than the NFC. Which was interesting. Let's go now to the West. The 49ers at 9-8, Rams 7-10, the Seahawks 5-12, and the Cardinals 4-13. And then in the North, another surprise team, the Lions. I'd say the Steelers and the Lions were the surprise teams. They were 13-4. The Packers 6-11, Bears 5-12, and Vikings 4-13. So the Lions really took advantage of this division just being terrible. We'll see how that plays out in real life. We go to the NFC South. The Bucs win this division at 12-5. Then you had the Falcons and Saints tied at 8-9, and the Panthers at 7-10. So let's get to the bracket now. This is what it looks like, and I'll explain the tiebreaker here in just a second. So the Steelers had the top seed in the AFC. Then you had the Jets at number 2, and then behind them the Chiefs, and then behind them the Titans because they won their division. Then the Bengals got the first wild card spot, and then it was a tie between the Bills, the Browns, and the Chargers. So I'll explain the tiebreaker here. I know some of you have been posting the standings in the comments, and I think you got it wrong here. So the reason why it is in this order, and I went by the official NFL tiebreaker rules. So you first go to head-to-head if any of the teams have a sweep over the other 2 teams. That did not happen. We had, I think, one head-to-head matchup, and the other team did not play the other 2. So you can't go head-to-head unless a team sweeps the other 2 teams. And so you don't go by that. So then next up, you go by their record in the AFC. And when you do that, the best record in the AFC was the Bills. That's why they take number 6. The Browns and the Chargers were tied. So they had the same record in the AFC. So then you go to that tiebreaker. They didn't play head-to-head. And you go to common opponents. And that's where the Browns had the advantage. I think they actually were undefeated in common opponents compared to the Chargers. So the Chargers had a great year, and they were tied to get into the playoffs here, but the tiebreakers are going to go to the Bills and the Browns. And then in the NFC, the Eagles take the number 1 seed there. The number 2 seed goes to the Lions, the surprise team. I think the Eagles beat them head-to-head. That's why they had the number 1 seed. And then we had the Bucs at number 3. Number 4, the 49ers, because they won their division. The Giants at number 5. Falcons sneak in there, and the Cowboys. So despite their records being much worse than, say, the Chargers, they got into the playoffs because the NFC, again, was a lot worse than the AFC. I don't remember what the records were last year and if that was the case last season or not, but it was interesting, very interesting. We'll see how it plays out in real life, and we'll compare this. But now we get to our simulations on the new Madden game We'll start those on Sunday. The full games will be on the SG1 Sports 2 channel. That's where we do all our full game simulations. After I go through all the games, if you don't want to watch them, you don't have to. But if you'd like to watch the full simulation games, you can watch them on that channel. But if not, we'll come back at the end of this thing and we'll do a video recapping the playoffs, and I'll show you who won the Super Bowl, and that'll be coming up in about a week or so. All right, so that's it. Regular season over. Time to move on to the playoffs. Let me know what you think about how it turned out down in the comments below.